All right, let's try a little thought experiment. It's a bit of a wild one. Imagine, just for 10 seconds, every single atom of oxygen on our planet, poof, just disappears. Now your first thought might be, hey, I can hold my breath for 10 seconds, no big deal, right? But, oh, it goes so much deeper than just not being able to breathe.
You know, not being able to breathe, that would honestly be the least of your worries. The reality is, it's catastrophic. And it really shows you just how crucial oxygen is to, well, pretty much everything.
So, to really wrap our heads around the chaos of those 10 seconds, we've got to understand that oxygen's job on this planet is way bigger than we usually think.
I mean, look at that, only 21%. It doesn't seem like that much, does it? But that little slice of our atmosphere, it has a huge impact. Oxygen is kind of like this invisible hero, right? It's powering our bodies, it's fueling fires, and it's keeping our entire world from, falling apart.
And that right there, that's really the core idea here. Oxygen isn't just something we breathe. Think of it more like it's the glue holding our planet together. And taking it away, even for just a few seconds, well, that's like pulling the pin on a global grenade.
Okay, so let's start the clock. 10 seconds. The very first things that happen are immediate, and they're incredibly personal. They happen to your body before your brain can even process what's going on.
Just 1 second in, 1 second, and every single person on Earth is unconscious. And no, it's not from holding your breath, it's from something way more violent.
So the second that oxygen disappears, the air pressure around you instantly plummets by about 21%. That's like being zapped from sea level to the top of Mount Everest in less than a second. The change is so extreme, so fast, that your eardrums, they just rupture instantly. And your brain, starved of the oxygen it needs to function, would just shut down.
But believe it or not, this isn't just about us. While every human on the planet is out cold, the world itself is starting to transform in some really terrifying ways. And it all starts with the sky.
You ever wonder why the sky is blue? It's all because of something called Rayleigh scattering. Basically, sunlight hits all the little particles in our atmosphere, mostly nitrogen and oxygen, and the blue light scatters around way more than the other colors. That's what gives us that beautiful blue sky.
Okay, now take away all those oxygen molecules. Suddenly, there's way less stuff for the light to bounce off of. And what happens? The sky just goes pitch black, instantly. Imagine it's the middle of the day, but it looks like outer space. The sun is just this one single bright dot in a completely black, empty void.
And if you think that's bad, for anything flying in the air, it gets so much worse. See, airplanes need oxygen for two critical things: to burn fuel in their engines and to keep the cabin pressurized. Without oxygen, the engines just die. And that sudden drop in outside pressure we talked about, it would crush the cabin. Every single plane in the sky would just start falling. Down on the ground, things are just as chaotic. Every fire on the planet would just poof, go out. Every car, every truck, anything with a normal engine would just stall and stop working. And our planet's sunscreen, the ozone layer, well, that's just a special kind of oxygen. So it would vanish completely, leaving the surface totally exposed to the sun's raw, unfiltered radiation. Okay, but all of that, the sky going black, planes falling, all of it pales in comparison to the biggest, most mind-blowing consequence. Remember how I said oxygen is like glue? Well, I wasn't just talking about the air. I meant the actual ground we're standing on.
Get ready for this, because this number is wild. 47%. Almost half of the Earth's crust is made of oxygen. Yeah, it's not just floating in the air, it's chemically bonded into the rocks, the sand, the dirt, everything. So here's the kicker. That oxygen provides structural integrity. It's the O in SiO2, right? Silicon dioxide, sand, which is what we use to make concrete. If you just rip the oxygen atoms out of that structure, the whole thing loses its strength. One source put it perfectly. It's like turning a solid block of concrete into a crumbly piece of Swiss cheese. And the result of that? Total, catastrophic failure. On a planetary scale. The Earth's crust itself would start to crumble. Every concrete building, every bridge, every dam would just disintegrate into dust. And oh yeah? Water. H2O. Without the O, what do you have? Just hydrogen gas. All the water on the planet, the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, would instantly boil away into space. The planet would literally, physically fall apart. And then, after 10 seconds of just absolute unimaginable chaos, the oxygen snaps back.
But it's not like flipping a light switch back on. Things don't just go back to normal. The world that comes back would be scarred. It would be a completely different planet.
Sure, some things would happen fast. The air pressure would slam back, which would probably be pretty violent. The oceans would start to reform, but the big, complex systems, they'd be broken. It could take years, maybe decades, for the atmosphere to get stable again. And our ozone layer? We're talking centuries to fully rebuild.
Think about it. Countless chemical bonds were shattered. The very rocks, the shape of the continents, not to mention any life that might have survived, it would all be forever changed. 10 seconds, that's all it would take to create a brand new and much, much more hostile Earth.
It's pretty haunting, right? It's a huge reminder that oxygen isn't just the air we breathe. It's a fundamental pillar of our entire world. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible forces are out there, holding our reality together, that we take for granted every single day?